Business leaders across Iowa need graduates who can contribute from day one. That's what sets the Iowa State University Ivy College of Business apart. Our students are directly admitted to the college and their major on day one. That gives them immediate access to hands-on learning, career support, and industry connections. The result? Job-ready talent for Iowa companies, communities, and the economy. Explore Ivy today.
The Business Record News Headlines is brought to you by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University, where world-class faculty, staff, programs, and facilities come together to deliver business education for a rapidly changing world. At Ivy, students gain more than a degree, they gain real-world experience and the confidence to lead in any industry.
Welcome to the Business Record Iowa News Headlines podcast presented by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University. This is your essential weekly briefing on local business news from across the state. I'm Stacey Thompson, Senior Director of Event Strategy at Business Publications, here with co-host Business Record Editor Sarah Diehn. We're starting off with our Business Record Roundup, reviewing the top 3 stories reported by the Business Record newsroom that you may have missed over the last week.
A new distillery has opened in the former Foundry distilling space in West Des Moines Valley Junction neighborhood. T12 Distillery, owned by Scott Turchinski, is leasing space in the building where bar and restaurant The Hall was located before it closed earlier this year. The owner of the Foundry building, Jorgen Jensen, said he's working to find a new tenant to replace the hall that would complement the new distillery and bring new energy to the space. Turchinski has also made plans to build a distillery in Bondurant's mixed-use grain district, but he decided to start with the Foundry location because it offered the opportunity to start operating sooner with existing space and equipment. He plans on revisiting developing the flagship distillery in Bondurant in 3 to 5 years. T12 Distillery will be open regular hours and offer private tours, a tasting room, and a space for private events.
Casey's General Stores last week unveiled a new 3-year strategic plan, including adding at least 400 new stores and generating about $2 billion in cash to invest in the business. Casey's CEO, Darren Rebelez, spoke with reporters last week, sharing that many of the company's new locations will be outside Iowa, with 550 of its 3,000 stores spread across the state. Half of Casey's new store growth will be from mergers and acquisitions, and the company will target operators of individual stores or small chains. Rebelez acknowledged finding workers for new and existing stores could be challenging in coming years as unemployment rates remain below 4% in 11 of the 19 states where Casey's operates. He said the company is focused on employee retention and has seen 3 straight years of declining turnover following efforts to simplify its stores and kitchens.
The city of Pleasant Hill has suspended the use of tax abatements for development projects as a result of the property tax reform measure passed by the Iowa legislature this year. The new law caps growth from property tax revenue at 2%, excluding new construction, but property that has been under tax abatement will not be considered new construction when it comes off of abatement. Pleasant Hill Mayor Sarah Karofsky told the Business Record $100 million in property tax valuation will not be realized when properties currently on abatements roll off the incentives. The city will also no longer use tax increment financing due to changes in how it can be used. The tax abatement moratorium does not affect existing abatements or projects that already applied for permits and abatements. You can read all these stories in full and more news at businessrecord.com. Next up, we have our statewide headlines with the news you need to know from across Iowa.
The Iowa Capitol Dispatch reports a proposed class action lawsuit brought by a former employee and other workers at Hy-Vee alleges the grocery store chain violates federal labor laws by failing to pay overtime for department managers. The lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Iowa alleges salaried department manager positions are designed to circumvent payment in overtime wages. A Hy-Vee spokesperson said last week that the company believes the lawsuit and allegations lack merit and will be addressed through the legal process.
The Cedar Rapids Gazette reports a termination letter shows the former chief benefits officer for IPERS, Stephen Herbert, was fired after a personnel investigation found violations of policies governing sexual harassment, workplace violence, discrimination, ethics, and personal conduct. The termination letter was issued the same day Governor Kim Reynolds announced she had accepted the resignation of IPER's chief executive, following separate misconduct investigations into both officials. The letter did not describe the underlying conduct, investigative findings, or specific incidents that led investigators to conclude Herbert violated those policies.
The Iowa Capitol Dispatch reports Iowa is one of 9 states that won't have to foot a portion of the cost of its SNAP program under provisions of the law known as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Under the law, states with SNAP payment errors rates greater than 6% in 2025 will be required to pay some of the cost of the benefit program up to 15%. Iowa's payment error rate last year was 5.34%. This follows another recent development for Iowa's SNAP program, with a federal judge last week striking down the USDA waiver that allowed Iowa and other states to restrict types of food SNAP recipients can purchase.
Iowa Public Radio reports the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors has unanimously approved a 1-year moratorium on data centers in unincorporated areas and will hold public meetings starting this summer to develop an ordinance for future projects. The action comes after the town of Salix annexed about 900 acres of farmland in April. MidAmerican Energy confirmed earlier this month the site is being considered for a future data center, though the company said it's still seeking a customer to purchase the land and develop the project. Other communities have taken similar measures on data centers, including Johnson, Dubuque, and Madison counties.
The Corridor Business Journal reports the Eastern Iowa Airport has launched a new branding and marketing initiative that will guide the ongoing development of an aerospace cluster at the airport. The new platform, called Ascentus, is designed to align education, industry, and other stakeholders around messaging and goals to attract investment in the Eastern Iowa aerospace sector. The effort grew out of a study completed by a global aerospace consultant that assessed Eastern Iowa's ability to compete for aerospace investment at a national and global level and identified the significant market opportunity.
The Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University is proud to introduce the Emerging Leader MBA Scholarship, a full ride opportunity designed to develop Iowa's next generation of business leaders. Full ride, full potential. Learn more and apply online at the link in the show description.
That's our show for today, but before we go, we have a few things for you to take with you through the rest of your week. One thing coming up, our next Iowa Economy episode is coming out Tuesday, July 7th. Host Chris Konetsky talks with a panel to go deeper on what's causing the strain in the restaurant sector and what success in the future looks like. It will be available wherever you find podcasts. Lastly, one fun thing to know, while America turns 250 this week, the city of Dubuque in eastern Iowa turns 190, according to Notes on Iowa. Now a town of 60,000, the history stretches back to the arrival of Julian Dubuque in the late 1700s. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks to our sponsor, the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University. Each week, you can count on us for a dose of a balanced news with the context you need. If you enjoyed today's show, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday.